Last season was Robinson's best year yet, as not only did he put up monster numbers, but he won the 2028 Heisman Trophy in the national championship for Texas Tech. He then made a shocking decision to not enter the NFL draft and entered the transfer portal for his senior season. Robinson's top three choices were Oregon in the Big Ten, Florida in the SEC, and Boise State in the MWC. And for Chicago Robinson's senior season, he would be playing for the Oregon Ducks. Chicago Robinson's first game with the Oregon Ducks was at home, and it was going up against FCS Northwest, so it should be an easy matchup for them. With only two plays, getting down to the 28-yard line of FCS and looking to get in the red zone. With a fresh set of downs now, Robinson back to throw would go right side, and that would be completed and taken in for a touchdown. I lied. Our receiver got marked down at the half-yard line, and Robinson losing a yard on that play. Followed up with a loss of 3, and this pass would fall incomplete. So Oregon's first drive with their new quarterback would only end in a field goal, and now faced with a 3rd and 10, their second one might end in a punt, but Robinson would pick up the first down. And then on 1st and 10 from the 18, Robinson would take a shot to the end zone. And this is not the type of receivers I thought Robinson would be working with here at Oregon. That was a wide open touchdown pass that was dropped, but Chicago would still get his team down to the 5, but the pressure would get to him, taking a sack on 1st and goal, as now he would go to the end zone again. And for some reason, his Big Ten offensive line just can't seem to keep up with this FCS defensive line. And what the actual heck was this play? I'm already starting to get fed up with these wide receivers here at Oregon who just stop running routes and can't hold on to balls, as that's going to be intercepted, tipped, and brought back. No one expected Robinson to have an interception before a passing touchdown in this game. And for the love of God, you could have kept running. There was no need to run out of bounds on that play. Back down in the red zone now, we'll see if Robinson can actually get his team in the end zone, as he would pick up a block and would get into the end zone. His first touchdown as an Oregon Duck, but that was on the ground. It's time to see if he can get one through the air here before halftime. That pass would fall incomplete, and 2nd and 10, once again the pressure coming, and Robinson has a receiver deep down the field, inside the 5-yard line, and finally would get his first passing touchdown. FCS Northwest left just enough time here on the clock for Robinson to try to go down again, but this offensive line somehow is still struggling against this defensive line, as Robinson is going to throw a dart across to the right side, taken down to the 20. And the Ducks still have all 3 of their timeouts left to work with, as Robinson down inside the 10 with this pass completion, setting up a 1st and goal from the 2-yard line where he would pick up another touchdown. Robinson is finally starting to get into the groove of things here, headed into the second half. And the goal is to not have to play the 4th quarter at all, as he would take a shot deep to the end zone. But that pass would be knocked down incomplete, with a 2nd and 10 now on the wide receiver pitch, and he's still going. And we have to pick this up, as we are thinking touchdown, not field goal on this possession, as Robinson will take off on his feet down to the 15-yard line on play action now, rolling out to the right. Pressure almost gets there, so he dumps it off. And Robinson is eyeing the end zone on this play, as he drops back, fires to the end zone for 6. And the Ducks defense come with a huge takeaway here, and Robinson has another chance to put a touchdown up on the board. 1st and goal now from the 8, as he drops back to throw. He's going to step up and take it himself for his 2nd rushing touchdown. And he's going to hit what may be the worst gritty I've ever seen. The Oregon Duck is loving it here in Eugene, and the fans are loving it, as we have an opportunity to go up 48-0 on this possession. Robinson definitely wants another touchdown on his stat line before coach takes him out, as he is going to take a deep shot past the defense. And the left side safety coming over just in the nick of time to knock that pass incomplete, as this receiver is going to hold on to this in double coverage, and there is no one even near him. And that would wrap up Chicago Robinson's day, as the Oregon Ducks are going to get a big-time win in his first ever start for them, as his debut with the Oregon Ducks would be 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, 365 yards through the air, and 64 on the ground. Robinson entered the season at 3rd on the Heisman list, and after that game, surprisingly, was still in the 3rd spot. But hopefully he could put up another great stat line, as the Ducks were back at home and ranked number 10 for their second game of the season. Let's hope that this game against Utah State gets off to a little better start than our first game of the season did on offense. As right away, Robinson picking up a first down on his feet, and now a first down through the air into Utah State territory. And why not take a shot to the end zone here, as on play action, Robinson would launch this one deep, but it's dropped. I don't know why, as one of the top teams in the country, we have receivers that can't hold on to the ball. And after another incomplete pass, now we're faced with a 3rd and 10, as Robinson would roll out of the pocket, and he was going to take this himself, picking up a block and taking it into the end zone, as we are getting flashes of Johnny Manziel here in this game early on from Robinson. That first drive was definitely a lot better than our first drive against FCS Northwest, and already in the second drive here, Robinson was darting up the Utah State defense as we were in the red zone. From the 7-yard line now, Robinson looking for his first passing touchdown, but the pass pressure was going to get to him as he would take another shot to the end zone, and there's his first passing one of the day. Our defense would come away with a huge turnover, giving us the ball right back. Inside the 10-yard line now, as Robinson already over 100 yards on the day here in the first quarter, and what the hell was that? Did you just see what happened to the receiver? I have never seen that happen in this game. I'm not going to count that as an interception because that receiver just magically teleported away. I can't even be mad at that because that is the weirdest thing I have ever seen in this game. As now we're trying to score a touchdown before the end of the first quarter and would do just that. Hopefully that makes up for the interception now, as Robinson and the offense take over for the first time in the second quarter. And minus that one interception, Robinson has been off to a fantastic start today. Once again, our receiver cannot hold on to the ball, so we are faced with a 3rd and 11, and there was just nothing open there for Robinson to work with, as he would go back to the left side now, and this time his receiver could haul in the pass. And that would give Oregon a great opportunity here to put on another touchdown before half. Just over a minute to go in counting. Play action now. Robinson gonna take a shot to the end zone, and that's hauled in. I thought that might have been intercepted in all honesty. Robinson would have over 250 passing yards in the first half alone, as this might be another interception. Sure enough, I knew as soon as it was thrown. That was a bad decision. So that INT would result in 3 points for Utah State's offense. But it should be no problem for us, as Robinson was getting the team back down the field. Just over a minute and a half to go in the third quarter, as now he would get us inside the red zone. And now faced with a 3rd and 8, we were definitely thinking touchdown and not field goal, but Robinson can't get out of the pocket. And he would only pick up 4 yards, but our defense would get another takeaway. And man, I just can't say enough about this defense, as yet again, look at this field position. Into the fourth quarter now, and if we score here, this might be Robinson's last series on the field, as he picks up another touchdown on the ground. And it looks like Coach Dan Lanning is keeping his senior quarterback in the game, but some very poor pocket presence there from him is going to result in a long 3rd and 20, but his receiver beats his man deep, and of course Robinson sees him down the field to now go over 300 yards. I would like to see another passing touchdown on the board for Robinson today, as he's going to take off and slide forward, getting the offense down to the 16-yard line, and now on an RPO picking up a few. Setting up now a 2nd and 5 from the 11, as he'll go across the middle into a tight window, coming up just short of the goal line, but hopefully this halfback screen can get us in for 6. There's only 39 seconds left, but why not try to add some stats on the line, as Robinson has his receiver deep across the middle, who will take it in for a touchdown. And I think those 2 interceptions can be forgiven for an 8-touchdown performance. And for the first time at Oregon, that would land Chicago Robinson Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week. We also added some physical attributes for the first time in his career, as we added gold dot, bronze mobile resistance, and bronze downhill abilities to Chicago Robinson. Hopefully those come in handy, as Chicago Robinson is looking to destroy destroy the Beavers in their upcoming rivalry matchup. This definitely was a game the fans wanted to see Chicago Robinson ball out today, as we were taking on our in-state rivals, Oregon State, but weren't off to a great start. A drop pass and then a sack would lead to a long 3rd and 17 as Robinson goes down again. And I don't know why, but this offensive line just seems to be worse than what we had at Texas Tech. Had an opportunity to pick up our first down of the game, but Robinson would throw this out of bounds. And we were just off to a sloppy start so far today, as that's another incomplete. Robinson is visibly frustrated, as this has kind of been a repetitive thing this year where the offense just gets off to a slow start. The offensive line is still doing us no favors, but finally this pass is going to be completed inside the 20, and they have to capitalize on this drive for points, or else this isn't going to look good, as Robinson takes a shot to the end zone for 6. And finally, the Ducks are on the board. Great starting field position on this next drive, as they are already inside Oregon State territory, and his receiver's going to slip one tackle, and that would be a fresh set of downs for the Ducks now, as Robinson rolling out to the right. He's going to keep it himself for the first down. Just short of the 20-yard line, as now this play will get them inside the red zone. But maybe I spoke too soon, because once again, our receivers cannot hold on to anything thrown their way. That completion would get us down inside the 5-yard line, as Robinson's getting no help, and he would only pick up 2 yards on that play, as now he's going to the end zone in traffic, and that's going to be intercepted. And I'm not going to lie, that pissed me off a little, because I was trying to throw to circle before he was in the end zone, but the game wouldn't let me throw it until he was already in triple coverage. At least half of the interceptions this season so far from Chicago Robinson have come from really crazy stuff happening in the game like that, but there's also been some times where Robinson just makes some bad reads and does some throws he shouldn't make. Once again, our receiver who had a touchdown there is going to drop the pass as Robinson takes off on his feet inside the 10, setting up a 1st and goal from the 8 now as he goes to the end zone once again. The defense has been playing great for us, as they haven't given up any points today, but we're still only up 14-0. And with all 3 timeouts, we are trying to get some points here, as Robinson rolling around in the pocket. He's going to avoid that defender. His receiver comes back, hauls this inside the 10, and Coach Dan Lanning is going to give us one last shot at the end zone, and it pays off. Hopefully Robinson and the offense can play a little better here in the second half than they did in the first half against Oregon State. But already we're faced with the threat of going 3 and out, but thankfully Robinson would connect with his tight end. And the drive stays alive for now, as back to throw. He's going to get hit, and there's a lot of plays we just can't even get passes off, as we can this play and get a good chunk. Setting up now a 3rd and 6, going to the halfback screen, and that goes backwards. That would bring Robinson's total back to under 200 yards on the day, as now he's going to take a shot deep and his receiver comes down with it. And just like that, the senior quarterback is back over 200 yards on the day and counting. Another passing touchdown on the stat line would look nice as he rolls out to the right. He's going to throw to the end zone, and that's going to be hauled in. But Oregon State isn't going away just yet, as our defense would give up the first touchdown of the day, and Robinson's pass would be completed, setting up a crucial 3rd and 1 that we need to pick up to keep going. At this point, I'm pretty sure we have the win, but I would like to see Robinson get over 300 yards passing if possible. And if that's going to happen, we're going to need to pick up this 1st down as the pressure gets to him. That drive would result in a field goal, so all we had to do is run out the rest of the clock. But why not take another shot and just try to get over that 300-yard mark? But Robinson is going to take off on the ground. And you know what? Maybe instead of 300 yards, we can aim for 300 yards and another touchdown. 2nd and 2 from the 13. Robinson flushed out of the pocket, rolling out to his right. He's going to throw this up to the end zone, and it is dropped, but he only needs 7 more yards passing as he's going to roll out on the run just short, as we will use our first timeout with 8 seconds left. I want these 2 passing yards, and we're going to get them here. Not an ideal game from Robinson, even though it looks good on paper, as even though Robinson looked good on paper, he did only only complete 63% of his passes. Robinson and the Oregon Ducks had a bye week following that big rivalry win, but they were still practicing hard in their week off, hoping to find that offensive groove. Despite what we thought was an okay performance, Robinson had jumped up to second on the Heisman watch list, and his team was one of 5 undefeated teams still in the Big Ten Conference, as they got ready to start Big Ten Conference play on the road taking on the Northwestern Wildcats. This should be an easy game, hopefully, to help ease us into conference play in the Big Ten, as Robinson starting off on the ground. He is going to pick up a huge chunk there, getting his team past midfield and into Northwestern territory. I might be wrong, but I don't think we have started a single game this year with a touchdown, but it didn't take long for Robinson to find his first sack of the day either, but we would convert on third. Now a 1st and 10 from just outside the 20-yard line, setting up the halfback screen as he has some room to run inside the 10. And Robinson now looking to cap off this drive with a touchdown, and would do just that. This is the best we have started a game so far this season, and hopefully that momentum can continue for us. As right around midfield, faced with a 2nd and 2, Robinson is trying to get out of the pocket, but move! He's going to put the ball on the ground. Every halfback in this game has the eyes of Helen Keller, as he just couldn't get out of the way. And that's why I hardly call any run plays either, because the ball carrier vision in this game is absolutely horrendous. That's alright though, because that just means more passing attempts for Chicago Robinson, as once again he was getting his team down near the red zone and would pick up a fresh set of downs with this completion. That would also put him over 100 yards on the day, and it wasn't even the end of the first quarter yet. But also there is our first drop pass of the day, but his tight end now is wide open for 6. And maybe that bye week giving us an opportunity to practice a little more on offense really is paying off. Moving to the second quarter now, hopefully our great play from the first would continue, as Robinson is going to scramble, pick up the first down, and plenty more as he'll make it to the end zone. And this is the type of play that Oregon fans were expecting to see from him. I don't know why he ran into that defender, as I didn't even have my finger on the control stick, but now we would complete this pass. And we now had a chance to go up 28-3 in the second quarter here, as that defender is going to completely miss on the receiver. And the Oregon Ducks are just absolutely balling out so far against Northwestern, as again, wide open downfield. And Robinson might have a chance to eclipse 300 yards in the first half this game. Inside the red zone now, or I should say just outside from the 21-yard line, this would get us into the end zone. And Robinson only needs 5 more yards to pass for over 300 here in the first half alone. That holding call would give us 10 extra yards to work with, and this should do it, but maybe not. That's going to be intercepted. We were playing so well up till then and got a little bit greedy, so we are not going to see Robinson throw for over 300 in the first half. We love to see the second half start off with a drop pass, but at least this play looks like it's going to be a little bit better for us. And after handing the ball off to our blind halfback, who goes back a yard, faced with a 2nd and 11, but Robinson picks up the first. And only 18 yards away from 100 yards rushing, I want to see if we can try to get him there on the night. We got a design rollout play here, pressure coming from the back. Can we outrun them? Yes, we can, but we're just short. And now we're faced with a 3rd and 1 as pressure coming from all over. Robinson goes down. And I think we just need to stop running these misdirection plays, because our offensive line can't seem to hold up blocking for us on them. That rush there is finally going to get Robinson over 100 yards on the ground. So now it's just time to see how many stats we can pad here in the fourth quarter. Once again, I need to stop giving the ball to our halfback, as he only seems to go backwards on plays. But this drive is looking promising for Robinson to pick up his potential 6th touchdown of the game. Down inside the 20 now, faced with a 2nd and 1. This would set up 1st and goal to go from the 5-yard line, and Robinson is going to get that 6th touchdown pass. I take that back. Any sort of contact makes it impossible for our receivers to hold on to balls. And once again, our offensive line giving us absolutely zero time in the pocket, but our receiver finally holds on to that one. Just under a minute and a half now to go. I want to see if we can get Robinson over 400 yards on the day through the air. And to do so, we're only going to need to pick up 9 more yards passing as Robinson can complete this to haul it in. But why not go for another touchdown as well, as we're at 402 yards on the day. That's almost intercepted. A dangerous throw from the senior quarterback, but this will be our last attempt and it pays off. A fantastic win for the Oregon Ducks here to open up conference play, as Robinson looked fantastic despite that one interception. His teammates sure are happy with his performance. And for our next upcoming game, Coach Dan Lanning wants us to score 5 touchdowns passing or rushing. It was a big time matchup against number 3 USC, which will thankfully be at home, but we would make an upgrade headed into this game to improve Chicago Robinson's break tackle, which although we didn't have enough skill points to do it now, that would allow us to upgrade our downhill ability once we do. So far through 4 games, Chicago Robinson has thrown for almost 1,500 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. That's not great. And has also rushed for 284 yards and 6 additional touchdowns. He is now once again the front runner for the 2029 Heisman Award trophy, even though it's early in the season. And his team has an extremely tough schedule coming out to finish out this season in Big Ten Conference play. That will be next episode as we finish out Chicago Robinson's college career here at Oregon and look to see if he can repeat as a Heisman winner and a national champion.